Hello, everyone, and welcome. So, today, my name is Lale Hancock. I am here with my friend, Dr. Anthony Mattis. Hello, Anthony.
Hey Lale, how are you? Thanks for having
Well,
me.
I'm doing great, except Facebook was not cooperating with us. So, as you know, never give up, never give in, never
Yeah.
quit, just ask a question.
hmm Maybe the algorithms aren't set up for consciousness.
Well, that's probably true. And
Mhm.
I have to give a shout out to the tree behind me because these two
Wow.
trees were like totally helping me relax while all this was going on.
Yeah.
And today I wanted to actually chat with you and talk about it. We talk about a symphony. I mean, when I learned about symphony, it was I have to go to an orchestra, I have to go to a play or something to be able to have this harmony of the instruments kind of coming together as the symphony. And then today we're talking about, wow, symphony, the opening of the symphony, symphony of possibilities, and a new symphony blank that I haven't told anyone
Yeah.
yet that we're going to talk about. So, do you want to tell them a little bit about you and a little bit about this whole universe of symphony that's actually available?
Yeah, well, you mentioned that some of the people who would be listening are sort of brand new to this whole universe. So, well, as you just to start from the beginning, you have Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, who's created these multiplicity of tools to help you change the areas in your life that aren't working for you. And then came along Dr. Dane here, our mutual dear friend. They're both our mutual dear friends. We've been in Access for quite some time now. But, he created this, he was a chiropractor by trade over 20 something years ago and suicidal. And that's part of what piqued my interest when I first got to Access because I lost my wife to suicide and being a chiropractor myself and studying so many different healing modalities, even beyond chiropractic stuff, I've always been on this journey and this quest to learn more and to help my patients get the best results possible. But especially when my wife had died, leaving me to be, a widower raising three kids by myself, I'm like, okay, all right, God, there's got to be some modality out there that's strong enough to change these sorts of things, and I need you to show me. And about 9 months after is when I learned about access consciousness bars, and access consciousness as a whole. And so as I started the work, I started really getting some profound results. I started getting happy. Here I am, a grieving widower, and I'm getting happy. And I'm like, how is this possible for me to be happy like this? And it's hasn't even been that long since she passed away. And then fast forward, I learned about the more advanced classes like the Symphony of Possibilities, the Energetic Synthesis of Being, which
Yeah.
was created by Dr. Dane here, right? And so as a chiropractor, he had studied all this other energy work. And then when he came along to Access, he sort of created his own sort of method with using energy and working with people to create just more space, more communion, blasting through those strongholds and barriers that have sort of past traumas and dramas will just seem to release and dissipate from using this particular method and really all the tools of access. But when
Yeah.
he would do these particular sessions in class, as the story goes, a lot of his clients were like, can you teach me? Can you
Yeah.
teach me? And so he created the Symphony of Possibilities class, and he got the idea from going to an orchestra. And when he was watching all the different instruments, right? They all have their own different sound, their own vibration, their own frequency, own uniqueness, right? That not the other instruments don't have.
Yeah.
That's like us, and he got to see how that's what we are. It's who we are. We're our own energetic and acoustical blueprint, and that's unique to us. And when you work with someone and your unique energies and capacities, whatever they may be, is the contribution, is sort of like the symphony for that person to walk through a different set of doors, if you will, to see that they actually have different possibilities that are beyond, let's say, their past traumas and dramas. And it's not, and what I love about it is it goes beyond a cognitive mind. It goes beyond psychotherapy. It goes beyond, all these other different methods that are all about digging things up and changing it cognitively. What I'm talking about is being able to access those things you have not been able to change, no matter what you've done so far. And so for me personally, it was such a monumental shift in my world receiving these tools as a participant, and then to start doing it around the world and working with people, working with clients around the world and watching the change in them. And as they would change, I would change. So we have to give thanks and gratitude to Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, and then Dr. Dane here for really being the pioneer of this, right? He came along and he did this, and he was like the Lone Ranger. And, he had to learn the hard ways, and he's made it in such a way where it's easier for us to kind of learn and melt into this universe.
You said it so beautifully. Like, how often we look to whatever's going on. Because for me, it's not just only the things you haven't been able to change, the things you haven't been willing to choose and create, like so
Yeah.
many things in business, in your life, and relationships, and things of that sort. And we were taught, hey, analyze it, figure out where you went wrong so that you don't take that path again. Where this actually invites us to, it's not about a problem. It's not about you being wrong, but your willingness to explore something different allows all that stuck energy, all the things that you think are there as the barriers, the walls, to actually melt in a session, in a half-hour session.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Sometimes in a 15-minute session too.
or a 5 minute,
Yeah.
whatever it is,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
like so many of us look at, oh my God, it took me 40 years to create this problem or whatever, and it's going to take me forever.
Yeah.
But you are part of that role of how long it even takes, like if you're ready to rock and roll, it doesn't have to continue. But if you want it to continue, that's your choice too.
Yeah.
Um, but one of the things was, like watching, like I found Access 13 years ago, and I know you found it 14 years ago, so you found it right before I did. And for me, I wouldn't have said I came because I had a problem. Like things were great in my life. My business was very successful, my husband and his career, my kids. And what I found with this is it opened up my joy. Like,
Yeah.
I'm a happy person, and I just became even happier. And what I could explore didn't have to be, like, even like, for example, I when I found Access, I don't know, like 25, 28 years in business, right? I'd work with all sorts of different businesses, but I still had this structure of how to create a business, how to help a
Hmm.
business grow, how to diversify, how to go from one location of a business to a national business to an international business. And for me, the symphony energies took away those walls and barriers
Mm.
to allow me to ask questions and follow the energy that didn't make sense. The A plus B equals C went away and went more to, oh, okay, I'm going to go to Russia. Huh? From America, you're
Yeah.
going to go to Russia? Why would you do that? Or I'm going to go to Germany. Like, it wasn't the traditional linearness of the world. It became this truly asking questions and allowing those energies to guide.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Exactly.
and now I have multiple international businesses.
I know, I know. You travel all over the world, and Dubai and a gazillion other places too. Now you're in Costa Rica. It looks like the Wizard of Oz back there, the Land of Oz with the yellow brick road. It's not yellow, but there's a
Yes,
little road that goes around on the side there. That's really, there it is. Look at it. Gotta go see the wizard there. I love it.
Yeah. And for me, the first time, because there's been different transitions, like this energetic synthesis of being, it made no sense to me. Like my first time was in Europe and it was Dane talking, but all I knew is he was talking in front of the room, but there was like tingling going on in my body. Like I was having memories of things that I was like, where did that come from? But then they would melt away. Like it, the way it was, this communion that was happening with my being and my body was beyond anything I'd ever experienced before.
Hmm.
So, and the ESP is actually the foundation from this symphony of possibility energies. And so, do you want to talk a little bit more about like the opening of the symphony, which ended up being like something that you and Katerina Valentine can facilitate to open that door for people to what is energy and the exploration of the symphony?
Yeah, well, after I guess many years of Dane facilitating the Symphony of Possibilities class, um, Katarina's been working with Dane for a really long time, and then I kind of came along as well, and so
Mm,
we looked at what would it create with such our close relationship with Dane and him sort of mentoring us throughout the years and allowing us to work with him and on him actually energetically, and that as a result we got so many downloads of how to maybe not communicate but maybe pass forward the information that maybe
mm,
sometimes he doesn't have time to get to or address in a class because he's like so busy, undoing so many of the walls and barriers. Sometimes it's hard to kind of get through the pragmatics of how a session goes. And so yeah, we came up with the opening of the symphony as a sort of like an energetic foreplay, if you will, to the symphony of possibilities work to kind of maybe try explain it in a way that's pragmatic and then people can relate to so that they're not afraid to go on this energetic exploration into this like unknown world, with
yeah.
Dane doing this and at the helm for so long. Sometimes we get distracted by the magnitude of his being that we're sort of missing what he's saying because we're too busy like staring at the sun. It's like, whoa, and it's like, well, wait a minute. It's like, here, you want to, here, over here, let's take you through this little journey. And so that's what the opening of the symphony was like, hey, this is something that anyone can be and do. Anyone can contribute, anyone can receive it. And, just because you see Dane as he is today, right?
Yeah.
It's taken him 25 something years, right, for him to be where
Yeah.
he is today. And it took a hell of a lot of vulnerability, going through ups and downs and all arounds and greatnesses and acknowledging things and gratitude and being willing to jump off a cliff when you don't want to because maybe things got comfortable. But and so he was an example. He paved the way for us, and people don't realize what he's had to go through to get to this point, right? But we do, you know what I mean? It's like, so we've been
Yeah.
here like at least half that time. And so yeah, he's allowed us to facilitate this class and to sort of create like this warm up leading into the Symphony of Possibilities class. And then since then, I've been actually overseeing the SOP classes in the afternoons where Dane does all the facilitation like in the morning. I come in and I sort of like just oversee the sessions and just contribute and help facilitate people through the different things that may come up during the session, both as the person gifting the session, but also the receiver too. So
Yeah. And by the way, I have taken SOP classes like since the beginning of my journey in Access. I'm also a maestro, an advanced symphony practitioner, and I love attending your opening of the symphony classes because it's not how long you've been doing anything. Each one is this truly this new opening to you and your own capacities, where you are at that moment, the gift and contribution you can be with the whole universe, with the person and the group.
yeah.
And so I'm so freaking grateful. Now, we have the opening of the symphony. We have the Symphony of Possibilities with Dr. Dane here. And drum roll, we have the new Symphony Immersion. So
Yay!
let's talk about this.
Well, the symphony, hold on, excuse me. The symphony immersion, so it's something that we just recently created, and where it's sort of just like an energetic and pragmatic approach to the sessions themselves. And so what I wanted to do was, so for the last 11 years, when I started doing the sessions and step it out into the world, I've been working personally with Gary Douglas, the founder of Access, and Dr. Dane here privately, right? I'd be working on them, and they would actually, a lot of times while I was working them, they would sort of like guide me in the sessions. They would suggest certain things to explore to see what kind of change and things we would could access together for them, but also for me, because if something opened up in their world, I actually received it as well. So that was like a beyond miraculous adventure and experience for me. And again, these are the little nuances that we don't really get to in the classes. So I wanted to create something that was like after the SOP class, right? When people are like, um, great class, my energy's changed so much space, but I'm not sure if I know how to do sessions still, you know? And and it is like a symphony, and because it's a symphony, literally, right? You're going to like knowing the different nuances that could show up and do show up in a session is literally like learning how to play all the instruments. Okay, it's like the different instruments of possibilities, right? And a lot of times, sometimes, especially for people who want to get, let's say, expand their capacities with not only gifting sessions, like doing the sessions, but receiving too.
Yeah.
um there's just little nuances that if they would allow themselves to explore, these universes would open up in a session, and then they would also recognize what it creates for the person receiving. And as that person received it, then so does the gifter, and then that then becomes part of their knowing and a new energetic springboard, if you will, that they can build on, and they get stronger and stronger and stronger in their sessions, but just more sensitive to energy and the world around them that they could actually utilize in every area of their life, but especially sessions. So it's sort of like a guided exploration of the different energetic nuances that people can explore.
Yeah. Well, I love it because we have it on the Access website, so you can register. I'll tell you about the next one coming up. But the first line, an energetic and a pragmatic orchestration of your life.
Yeah.
Just there. That's where
Yeah.
I'm going to stop. Right there.
Exactly. I know. I know. I got so psyched about that one.
I think it's something that a lot of times people don't talk about is the symphony sessions are amazing. You can become a practitioner, you can gift sessions, you can receive sessions at any time. The beauty of it, it doesn't all have to be in front of you. It doesn't have to be in person. Like the beauty of the symphony is that it actually can be that it's remote. I could be in Costa Rica and Anthony gifting me a session or me doing one for him. Do you want to talk a little bit about just the beauty of like there is no
Yeah.
borders?
Well, it's not a body process, right? It's something that can be done live when you're with a person physically in the same space, but it also can be done remotely because it's a being technique, if you will. It's really your being and their being are interacting with one another, and you're creating change and you're moving the molecules to create space and possibilities. And so that's why it can be done from a distance, because you're basically working on the being, right? And as you know, we have the physical body, but then we have these different subtle bodies. These in there, there's all these different philosophies, and I don't want to use spiritual practices that they name all these different things, but the name of them is not really relevant. It's the fact that these things do exist, right? And And in order to impact someone's body and life, sometimes you have to work within these subtle bodies or these energy bodies and in the being to make an impact here. But then also, if you are in person, sometimes impacting here also impacts the being as well. So it's this beautiful um, dance between the energy bodies, the subtle bodies, the being, and the physical body. And it's really beautiful. And, by the time you're done with a session, you either feel super relaxed. Worst case scenario is you realize that you have a shit ton of walls and barriers up because you've had a lot of trauma, and that's all you know. So if you can actually get that awareness on a conscious level, then you actually stand a chance to be able to change it. And that's the beauty. And then on the other extreme side, your whole life will literally change just in one session.
Yeah. And one of the things that I love is I used to think it was just the session at that moment, And what I love is the symphony session for me, the session doesn't end because
I
the
know, it's
time,
crazy.
it just keeps going. And it
Yeah.
also goes with every molecule has consciousness. So, like, I
Yeah.
do it when I'm on airplanes, I do it on the businesses. I know someone who won the lottery in Japan doing an SOP. Like, this is where it's like your creativity is where it's endless, like this is you engaging with molecules, with the consciousness of something, and truly infinite possibility.
Yeah, with engaging with the world around you and people, and you do begin to, like, without sounding tacky, like evolving consciousness over time. So you literally become the inspiration of possibilities just by being you. You don't even
Yeah.
have to do anything. It's your being gets stronger, and it impacts the people around you. Like the more you actually receive you, the more you influence the world around you, and to me that's the really fun part.
I have to give you one story. I was facilitating a board meeting at a not-for-profit in DC. And before the meeting started, we had two department heads who were fighting, really like bashing each other, going back and forth. And I just started to just start the SOP energy. And then about 2 minutes, they looked at each other like, what were we talking about? Like,
Exactly. 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 I love it. I love it. You blasted through the thoughts and got finally between the space, which is great.
and then we could actually start the meeting and be productive. Like, it was so interesting. I'm like, why didn't I have this my 25 years of corporate experience?
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just amazing. Like, again, infinite possibilities of what's really available here. So I just
truly.
want to invite everyone. You and Katerina Valentin now have the ability to facilitate the opening of the symphony, and now also with the Symphony Immersion. And your first class coming up is in December in Houston, December 11th. And I am so excited. I'm going to be there.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm honored because, I'm honored when the people who've been doing SOP for a long time that actually show up to the classes because you don't have to. It's not something that you have to show up to, right? It's not like and a requirement, but the fact that y- yeah, your willingness to receive, and yeah, it's sort of, yeah, I have a lot of gratitude for that. So thank you.
Yeah, and I have a lot of gratitude for you. And Anthony, I have to say, like, the you bring so many gifts. I told you, I've attended every SOP I've attended. There was an opening of Symphony. I've attended the opening of Symphony as well. And for me, you have this magical way of not only the energy of it, but the communication that goes with the energy. Like, there's a part of me that gets even more fulfilled, because I get more information, and then the energy is also different in the way that I can receive it. So
Right.
I want to thank you for that, because even Dane, most of the time, he can't give it to you in words because it is energetic. But you have a
Yeah.
very, very unique talent there. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to facilitate it. And I'm so excited about this creation and really being able to take people on this awesome, beautiful, energetic journey. And it's not just learn, to expand your capacities as a gifter, but also as a receiver too of the work.
Yeah. And Katerina and Anthony are going to be offering more of these around the globe at different moments. But right now, the upcoming one is December 11th. If you guys would like to join us online, or if you'd like to join us in person, if you're coming in person, book a few extra days. Gary Douglas and Grace Douglas are going to have an advanced body class there as well. And what else is possible for our being and our bodies being just nurtured for 4 days?
Just to let people know, it's actually for now going to only be offered on or live only.
Oh, okay. Then scratch
Yes.
that. You have to bring your
Yes,
magical bodies.
that's right.
All righty.
Yeah.
Well, there you
Like the
go. Maybe
olden
I'm just
days,
a
that's
future.
how it was before. So
True
anyway,
story. True
yeah.
story.
So
All
come
right,
live and play.
Chigler.
It'll be fun. All right.
Yeah. And I'm here if you guys have any questions, like to know more. And if you guys have anything, Anthony also has a lot of different kinds of classes coming up. If you guys want to check out, I will put the link to his classes as well. So thank you, everyone. And
Thanks,
we'll see you
Holly.
soon.
Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye, you guys.